Tractate Bava Kamma, page 113. Today we're going to cover many subjects. First subject is the idea of someone who refuses to appear in rabbinic court, meaning, let's say Mr. A suing Mr. B, and the court summoned Mr. B to come to for a special session. He refused to come. How you treat a situation like that? How many times you give him another chance until you put a special statement? How you apply a ban or ostracism, or how exactly you implemented someone to follow the court order? First subject. Another subject we're going to discuss is the issue of relationship with idolaters, etc. Here is an example. A fellow years back came to my late father and asked him a question. He used to own a company that deal packing. They did packing. So he used to send to Europe his packages. And it was a time he wasn't observant, wasn't religious. So he tried to cut corner. So for example, you're supposed to have inside the package 200 bags, you start cheating. Have 195, 190, etc., etc. So time passed, and before this time, before high holidays, he felt that God is after him, so he decided to do teshuvah. Now the question is, what do you do now? No one of your customers know about it, right? And you know that he did something that is very bad. So the suggestion he gets is, from now on, he give a little more than he gave before. It's a story I heard from different references. I heard it from the Rav Eliashiv, I heard it from others, that it was a fellow like that, and as a result, one time it was a special agent. It's like here we have like BBB, one of those that checking businesses, and all of a sudden they discovered that he's giving more than needed to his customers, and as a result his business was booming. But again, the key is, when it's come to interaction with the non-Jews or with idolaters, how you treated business transactions, especially if people want to do teshuvah and it was an issue of dishonesty. In Judaism, we are very strict when it's come to relationship between man and his fellow. As we all know, before Yom Kippur, what we said that God asked us to forgive each other, to make amends before we appeal to Him. So here we are, page 112b, 4 lines from the bottom of the page. אמר רבינה, היי שלוחה דרבנן, מהמננן לי כבית רי. Ravina said that the agent of the sages, meaning someone that the rabbinic court sent as a emissaries, the agent, and he called upon Mr., let's call him Reuven, and he said, come to court. And that fellow refused to appear. So now, how you treat it is not two witnesses, it's just the agent that come back and said, Mr. Reuven refused to come. So he said, we treated it as there are two people, because he is the agent of the rabbis. But the Gemarrah limited that ruling and said, V'hanei milei leshamta. This applies solely if we want to put a ostracism, a ban against the person. Aval lipticha, if we want to write a special note that express our disappointment and frustration or ban against that defender, kivan de mamona kam mechaser le, because this involved with expense of hiring a scribe to write, is a special documentation involved in those days, and therefore it's a loss of money. דקבאלה למכתב לזוזי לספרה, because you need to pay money to the scribe. So they said, "Lo, we cannot count on that agent, because imposing monetary payment, the requirement is 2 witnesses." It's a story well known about Rabbi Margaliot. Many times we mention his name. He wrote extensively about the source of the prayers and more. So one time he asked the late Chazon Ish, the Rav Karelitz, one of the great things he did, it was Kupat Gmach. It's a Hebrew free loan. It's like a charity fund that lend money to people in need with no interest. So they asked him a question, since we have expenses involved with the organizations, it looks like small, but because we're dealing with many people, it's puff up. Can we charge a fee for people who gets those loans? Is any rebate, is any law of interest? So the Chazon Ish explained, he said to him, look, the truth is there's no such a thing interest in this non-profit and charity fund. But since you're doing a mitzvah, do it in a complete way. Meaning, if you manage up to this point not to charge, try to continue that way. Amar Ravina, another rules Ravina said, Yavinan zimna apuma de iteta ve apuma de shibeve. Meaning, we're not just invite a person to come. We try to give him all kind of chances. So therefore, we may give a defender a particular time to appear in rabbinic court by informing him of the trial by words of mouth, for example, from a woman or from his neighbor, and these people are trusted to notify the defender of the court summons. Velo amaran ela deleitei bemata. And the Gemarrah comments on that and said, we said only when the defender is not in the city. Page 113, Aval itei bemata lo amrina. The Rabbeinu Nissim and the Rosh expresses very strongly the issue of people go to court and all the involvement and all the issues involved with this. But here we said, if the defender is in a city, the court does not ostracize him for failing to respond to a summons conveyed through for example, a neighbor. לא, דאמרינן אמר לו אמרו לי, דאמרי אשכחין ושליחה לבדיני דבר אמר לי. Because when Rashi said when there's no permanent shlichim, then it's a gray area. ולא אמרן אלא דלא חליפה בבא דבדיני. אבל חליפה בבא דבדיני לא. So again, remember those circumstances, historical context. If he passed by the rabbinic court, it's different than he sent someone to call him. אמרי אשכחו בדיני ואמרי לי, ולא אמרן אלא דעת ביומי ולא דעת ביומי, הם דשתלו ישתלי. So again, the whole concept is that we want to make sure that the person in the community respect the court, follow the court, and there are certain way to do things. So even nowadays, there are Batei Din in Israel and here, right? So in my best knowledge, they give a person another 2 chances, in my best knowledge. One is the 8 days, the second time, and then they just, it's called Ktav Seiruv, if you refuse to come 2 times. It's a very bad reputation for a person who denigrates the Bet Din by not appearing second time. So again, when you're tearing this document, you have a time frame, how far you go with not appearing. The moment you appear in the Bet Din, you basically tear the document. The moment he said, oh, okay, I'm going to follow the rules, so we let go. It's a story about Reb Chaim Brisk. One time he was with another rabbi in the court, and while in the court session, the defender really bad-mouthed one of the judges, one of the rabbanim. So the Reb Chaim Brisk was even it was the Zabla meaning when the two parties not get along, and it's not just get along. One party said that he had not accepted the Bet Din, so the best we can do is each party choose a judge. So it's called Zabla, and then both of them agreed, both judges agreed to the third one. So even Reb Chaim Brisk represent the other party, so he was very strong with the person who badmouthed the other judge. So they have a break. So Reb Chaim Brisk said to him, in Choshen Mishpat, they said that the judge should never pay attention to comments that people make. And he said, I can tell you what happened to me. I was in the court session 2 weeks ago, and someone did something like that to me. They put me down in a horrible way. Oh, Rabbi, how much money they pay you in advance for going in one direction? Right? So he said, look, we have to learn from the Torah, Chaim Brisk said. We call it Torah Moshe, the Torah, the true Torah for Moses, right? Now, if it's a Torah Moshe, how come within the Torah you see a lot of lines against Moses? Right? So what do you learn from that? That even a greatest of the greatest prophet like Moses, and in the Torah that he basically was the emissary to convey it to us, there are strong words against him, which teach us that when you are in a leadership, you shouldn't pay attention to all kind of frustration from people who said things that it's very either not true or inappropriate. אמר רב חיסדא, קובעים זמן שני וחמישי ושני. זימנה וזימנה בתר זימנה. He said, look, we schedule a time. Monday, Thursday, Monday, okay? Give him a chance to come, because people have excuses. Right? I have a doctor's appointment, I don't feeling well, I don't know, all kind of way to postpone. But he said, למחר כתבינן. But the next day after the last Monday, Thursday, Monday, then Tuesday, you write that document of ostracism against the person. Story, רב אסי איקלה ברב כהנא, חזה היתתא דאיזמנה לדני בפיינה, ובצפר כתיב עלי פתיחה. It's a story like that, and she was called evening, morning. אמר לי, לא סבר לי מרלעה, אמר רב חיסדא קובעים זמן שני וחמישי ושני. That's basically the rules. So why right away you did it? אמר לי, הנמי לגברא, דאניס ולידע במטה, אבל איתתא כמנדיתא במטה ולא אתיה מורדתי. So again, it was a circumstance that basically the way he interpreted it, that she's rebellious, and therefore the court issued a document of ostracism right away. Again, it's all depend upon the circumstance. The Yam Shel Shlomo, the Marshal said, you treated everyone equal, and if you need it, you wait as much as you need. But it was that circumstance that it's already. The Choshen Mishpat in the code, chapter 11, if we have time, you see how he bring us the practical האחרות when it's come to this. אמר רבי לא להבינן זימנה, לא ביום ניסן ולא ביום תשוב, לא ביום הטבע, ולא מלא שבתא, אבל מימי ניסן לבתר יומי ניסן, מימי תשרי לבתר תשרי קבעינן, מלא שבתא לבתר מלא שבתא לא קבעינן, מה איתה מה דבר, באבטל שבתא אבטרית. So it's like a friend of mine, we have a very, very, very painful case, family disputation over inheritance. So he went to rabbinic court in Elul, and they scheduled in Cheshvan. Cheshvan is after the high holidays. Because, as we said here, it's all kind of thing that people are busy. You don't want people to denigrate the court. You don't want people to say no or we can't make it. So you schedule in a way that there's no excuses. Right? אמר רב נחמן לאבינן זימנה, לא לבני קלה, בחלה ולא לבני רגלה ברגלה. So everything has to be in a time. Right? כי אהבו עטו לקמא דרב נחמן, אמר לו, וכי נדידכו כנופחיו. So, I didn't do it, והיית די כרמי. So there are people who come for their business, not in order to hear the speech. חיישינן. So we do it even at that time. אם היה דבר שיש בו אחריות חייבים. מה דין לרבי שמעון ברי, לא דבר שיש בו אחריות ממש, אלא אפילו פרה וחורש בה. חמור מאחריו חייבים להחזיר מפני כבוד אביהם. בא מן רב כהנא מרב, מיטה ומסב עליה, או שולחן ואוכל עליו מהו. So because you don't see these items, they are inside the house, not outside the house. So maybe it's not any type of belittle or denigration of the honor of the late father. אמר להו, תן לחכם ויחכם, or the proverb said, give the wise man and he will be wiser. Meaning that from the fact that the children, the heirs, must return a cow or a donkey, one can infer that they must also return a bed and table, and that's it. That's the way it should be done. And again, all of that, it's not the halacha, because halacha is not by Rabbi Bar Kamma, אלא כרבה, רשות יורש לאו כרשות לוקח, and is an afkamina in regards to return something involved with interest. If you remember, we learned, that's the Rashba said, that we learned in 94, that if the father left for his son something that he collected with interest, if it's a specific item the children needs to return, but again, all this has to be clarified with a permanent posek. Each case is different. Mishnah. Again, this Mishnah dealing with money that was stolen or not clean money. אין פרוטין לא מתיבת המוחסין ולא מכיס של גבאי ונותנים מהם צדקה. One may not exchange largest coin for smaller one from a trunk of custom collectors, nor from the purse of tax collectors, and may not take charity from them. Why? Because the assumption is to have obtained the funds illegally. ונותנים מהם צדקה ונוטל הוא מתוך ביתו או מן השוק, but he allowed to do it from the collector's house, or the money as in a market that is not take from him as a collection trunk or purse. The Shiltei HaGiborim and others said that it's not for his benefit, but only to avoid loss. The Choshen Mishpat in 369 in the Sma explained that basically it's permitted to exchange one's own coins for the custom collections coins, as long as they do not come from the trunk in which he collects the custom. But anyway, the Gemarrah said, תנא, אבל נותן לו דינר ונותן לו את השאר. ומוחסין, so you mean to say that מוחסין, the collectors, you assume that they are include the stolen fund? ואמר שמואל דינא למלכות דינא. Shmuel said that the halacha require a Jewish fellow to obey the law of the states in which they are lived. So therefore, so they just followed the rules. And why the Mishnah considering that coin that it's stolen? So here we talk about the collector who does not have a limitation. It's a big discussion, halacha, big. We don't have time today. What does that mean? Rules of the state is the rules. When and where and how you basically accept that as the rule of the state is the rule. דבר רבי ינאי אמרי במוחס העומד מעליו. אוקיי, איקא דמת להנאה לא ישבש אדם כלאיים, אפילו לגבי 10 בגדים להבריח בו את המכס. So a person should not carry a diverse kinds, which means a combination of wool and linen, even if he works on a type of garment in order to avoid paying customs. So, story about the Robochover. They gave him a first-class train in those days. And you see, he sat with everybody else. So they came afterward, they thought he did it because of anava, because of humbleness. So he explained, no. The first class they put in, the chairs, was made in wool and linen. Versus the others was made in the simple chairs. The train, and that's the reason he chose this. Anyway, מתאים דלא רבי עקיבא, דלא כרבי עקיבא לתניא, אסור להבריח את המכס. רבי שמעון אמר בשביל רבי עקיבא, מותר להבריח את המכס. Again, you have to remember the historical circumstance when you talk about avoiding or unavoiding, permitted or not, to paying customs in that matter. בישלמה לעניין כלאיים, that he is not intent to drive joy from wearing it. בהקא מפלגי דאמר, רבי עקיבא סבר דבר שמתכוון מותר, אמר סבר דבר שמתכוון אסור. So again, the disputation, if you intend or an unintentional act, is prohibited. אלא להבריח בו את המכס, ואמר שמואל דינא למלכות דינא. Shmuel just said that the law of the kingdom is the law, so therefore they need to pay the tax as the way that the government rules. אמר רב חנינא בר כהנא, אמר שמואל, במוחס, here we talk about collector, שאין לו קצבה. במוחס, שאין לו קצבה, doesn't have a limitation, So therefore, it's not considering a din, so it's no prohibited to do it, Rabbi. And I am Rabbi Moshe P. There's a collector that is self-appointed, which unfortunately happened. The third option, נודרים לרגין ולחרמין, ולמוחסין, שהיא של תרומה, או שהיא של בית המלך, אף על פי שאינה של תרומה, ועל פי שאינה בית המלך. That's Gemarrah Nedarim 27b. The idea is that one may vow before all those categories, murderers, plunderers, and custom collector, in order to reinforce the claim that a certain item that has been truma and prohibited to zari, or it belonged to a king's house, even it's not. So they said, ולמוחסין, ואמר שמואל דין המלכות הדין, the same manner of question, אמר רב חינה בר כנא אמר שמואל, מוחץ שאינו קצבה, דבר רבי ינא אמרו מוחץ עובר מאליו, the same notion, רבי אשי אמר מוחץ כנעני. So he hold that here we talk about a Canaanite, that he collected more than the king asked. In general, we should know that there is a lot of rabbinic writing about the prohibition against desecration of God's name when it's come to relationship with others, because people misconstrue and people said things about Jews, so we should be careful. תניא, ישראל וכנעני אנס שבאו לדין, אם אתה יכול לזכהו בדי ישראל זכהו, ואמור לו כך דיננו, בדיני כנענים זכהו, ואמור לו בקר דינכם ואם לאו, באים עליו בעקיפין. דיבר רבי שמעון רבי קיר אומר אין באים אליו, בעקיפין מפני קידוש השם. Because again, the fear is that people misconstrue and it will be desecration of name of God. רבי קיר תמה דאיקה קידוש השם, עליקה קידוש השם, באים גזע כללים ישרי, והתניא אמר רבי שמעון זה דבר זה דבר רש רבי עקיבא שבא מזפילים. Minalik, there's a Canaanite issue, so how do you know that you're not allowed to rob, steal a Canaanite? Talmud lomar achen nimkar gulat yolo. The Torah said in Leviticus 24, after he's sold, he may be redeemed. So it means that the relative of that slave can redeeming from that Canaanite. So therefore, the Gemara in Kiddushin 21 expresses that 113b שלו ימשכנו ויצא ויכול לגלום עליו, תלמוד לומר וחישב קינהו ידקדק עם קונהו. אמר רבי יוסף לא קשיא הבן נוכרי הבגר תושב. So you have to differentiate between those who follow Noachide laws and the other type of נוכרים. אמר לאביי ואל תקרבה לגבי הדד כתיב ולא לך אלא לגר, שנאמר לגר ולא לגר צדק אלא לגר תושב, שנאמר לגר תושב. משפחת גר זה העובד כוכבים, which means that's idolater. כשהוא אומר לעקר זה הנמכר לעבודת כוכבים. אלא אמר רבי קיר לא קשיא כאן בגזלו וכאן בהפקעת הלוואתו. So you have to differentiate between stealing and avoiding of paying a loan. So just give you a vignette of Choshen Mishpat 283. They said it is permitted to abrogate a idolater's loan if there is no concern whatsoever that the name of God will be desecrated. For example, if a fellow Jew owns a deceased idolater a sum of money that his heir is totally unaware of. So the question is, can you avoid payments? Or if you follow the code in Choshen Mishpat 283, and a comment of the Rema, you have to differentiate between gezel, something that someone's stealing, or הפקעת הלוואה. אמר לאביי, עבד עברי, הפקעת הלוואתו הוא. רבא לתלמד אמר רבא, עבד עברי גופו קנוי. So again, the Hebrew slave is owned by his master. So by retaking him from the idolater by deceptive means will therefore constitute actual robbery. אמר רב ביבי ברגיל אמר רב שמעון חסידה, גזל כנעני אסור עבודתו מותרת, זה לא אסור, הדבר רבון המנהל לגזל כנעני שהוא אסור, שנאמר ואכל את כל מה שלוקח נותן לה, אף בזמן שמסורים בידך לא תנד, בזמן שהם מסורים בידך, הוא ישתרב more time. עבודתו מותרת אמר רב חמא בר גורי אמר רב מנהל עבודת הכנעני שמותרת, שנאמר לכל עבודת אחיך, לאחיך אתה מחזיר, וידע מחזיר לחנני, והאמן המי לאחד לא לאט לידי, לא מחייב לדור בתרא. אבל לאחד לאט לידי, מה להדרא? אמר רבינה ומצאתה דעת לידי משמע. תניא רבי פינחס בעיר במקום שיש לו השם ולאותו אסור. Rabbi פינחס ben Yair said that if it's involved the desecration of name of God, then it's prohibited even to retain idolater lost item. אמר שמואל טעותו מותרת. כי עד שמואל זבן מקוטי, ליקנא דדאב אמר דפר זה לאבר בזוזי, ואבלה לאחד זוזה. רב כהנא זבן מקוטי 120 חבייתא ב100, ואבלה לאחד זוזה, אמר לאחד זה דלך כסמיכנא. רבינה זבן דקלה הוא וחוטי, לצלחה, אמר לי, לשמאי קדם והייתם עיקרו, דחותי בניין הידי ידע. Ravash is all this different story with that relationship with those Kuti. Ravashi Kazil Be'orcha. Ravashi was traveling on the road. So he saw a branch of grapevine in an orchard. And there were clusters of grapes hanging on it. אומר לי לשמאי זיל חזי דקודי נידו נינות אייטי ליסלין לאייטלי שמעו קודי ידע ואייטי ופוליסה דקודי שרי אמר לי קודי שקיל דמי ישראל לא שקיל דמי. So in short there is a story about Rabbi Yaakov Kamenetsky, who was one of the luminary leader at that time. So they said about him that he rules in that place. If I'm not mistaken, it was Russia. But anyway, he told the people, he was a post office master that used to give the people extra. You're buying stamps, he give you extra stamps, more than you bought, right? He rules, Rav Kamenetsky said to the people, if he gives you more, give him back. Don't take more than he gives you. Mm-hmm. And he kept saying. Then the war took place. And one of the leaders of the enemies appointed the postmaster to be the officer. And he saved a lot of Jews. And he said at that time that it was because of those years that he dealt with Jews and they follow Rav Kamenetsky, which is they never took more than they entitled to. They are very strict not to by any means take more than the entitled.